All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another very special edition of Red Pill News. Happy Thanksgiving as well. And thank you very much to my special guests today, Patty Greer and Chris Burres from C60 Evo, the makers of ESS60. My friends, it is so good to have you back here, and I hope you're having a happy Thanksgiving as well.
Yes, planning on it, for sure.
Great to see you again every month. And I always have to check. Yep, he's anti-aging, looking like gonna get carded.
Chris, Patty, all three of us, we look great. We glow practically every time we're on screen. And I think that obviously that's due to one very special addition to our daily regimens. And I don't know about you guys, but this entire year we should just get right into it. This year has gone by so fast. I don't know if it's a consequence of the amount of happenings that we have going on, or if it's something to do with the quantum state of my brain as a result of daily use of ESS60. But I feel like we were just at Thanksgiving 1 year ago, and it was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it feels,
what we're
I
doing
agree.
is we're showing you 3 different ways to do a shot of Evo.
Yes.
C60 Evo organic oil. And I'm a spooner. He's in the lab, so of course it's a beaker. And you've got a bizarre unit, as expected.
It's a measuring spoon.
Cheers.
I am exacting and precise. I like to make sure I know exactly how much I'm getting because it makes it easier to manage the how many doses I'm going to get out of the bottle.
Mm.
Well, I got to admit, when I do my morning coffee, I fill the tablespoon and then I intentionally spill it and keep going. So I like to be sloppy and generous because the little bit more, for some reason, keeps my, shall we say, 104-year-old body feeling younger.
Well, truth be told, I'm actually double fisting. I've got the coconut MCT oil in the coffee, and then I generally, when I do shots, I just do the olive oil because it has that little bit of extra kick. But so I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to be too zooted by the time I go on the air later on today after we get done with this show. So I've got to measure, got to pace myself, got to be able to make it through. So let's begin, first of all, with just a short amount of Thanksgiving talk. Do you guys have anything special that you're going to be doing this year? You traveling? You having family over to the house? Anything like that?
I am very pleased that my family is nearby and my kids all have kids. And I don't think there's anything more fun to me than family. So I'm surrounding myself. I've got somebody flying in that I haven't seen in years. So we're going to have a great dinner right around the corner. Love that. Don't have to drive in snow.
Beautiful. What about you, Chris? You're probably going to Bora Bora or something?
Well, it does begin with a B. We are going to the Bahamas.
I knew it was a B.
Yeah. The mind connection is there. Maybe that is also the quantum behavior of the ESS60 molecule. And now we just need to figure out how it can slow time, because that would be very advantageous. Because I am 100% in agreement with you that this year has just gone so fast. I do feel like it was yesterday. We were preparing for last Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, what's that? Go ahead.
And you?
Oh, I was just going to say, my son, Lisa's son, is on his way here right now. Lisa's on her way to pick him and his girlfriend up at the airport. And so they'll be here later today, and then they're going to be spending the weekend with us. And then I think they go back Sunday night. But my daughter and then my other daughter, Lisa's daughter, they're back in Michigan and Ohio. My mom is still back in Michigan. So they're doing the larger family stuff there back in Michigan. But I told everybody, if we want to see each other on the holidays, I live in Florida. Please come to Florida, okay? Like, you don't have to deal with the snow. You don't have to deal with the cold. You don't have to deal with the ice. Even in November, like right now, it's almost December. It's like 68 degrees outside. It might even be warmer than that now that I think about it. No, I'm sorry. It's actually 80 degrees now.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
I'm in Colorado. Chris is in Houston. So we're representing America here on your show today. But we do kind of represent the world because just in the last 2 days, we sold to New Zealand and Denmark.
Very nice.
Like I always wonder, whenever I see some far off country, I think, whose show did they see us on? Your audience is massive, and we really appreciate that, people write in and ask questions or call our customer service, but from all over the world, it's fascinating.
Absolutely. I know that I do have viewers in Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands. I don't know about, I guess I don't know what too many other European countries, but I definitely know there is like a solid Red Pill 78 fan base in the Netherlands. So that was pretty cool. They actually sent me pictures. There was like an event and they unfurled a banner where they like wrote the name of the podcast on it. And they were taking pictures with everybody. I thought that was really cool. Nobody's done that here in America. To see somebody do that in the Netherlands, it was pretty cool.
Well, it's because you've been consistent, with putting out your wisdom and studying and not missing a story. Oh my God, the stories.
Yeah.
I can't get enough news. It's so friggin' fun right now. And because I get to pick the influencers we work with, thanks, Chris, it's all smart political people that are pro-world, pro-America, pro-peace.
Yes.
Oh, yay, pro-Omaha,
Yes.
but the prop that I found today that I wanted to bring out was something that shows how loyal we've been to the intentions of making America healthy again. And I go back so far, and you're the only one I know on earth other than me that has a Kennedy running for president 2024 hat, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, well, behind me, I've got the Maha and the MAGA, but yes, I have a Kennedy 2024 hat in my my collection of hats.
Yeah, that's a stash item because not too many people have that moment in time. But when you guys were talking about how quick time went, to me, time was slow because there's been so much happening. But when there's two lines of news, there's parallel realities, our news, humans,
Yep.
and then dark, stupid news, which is Rachel Levine is so much better than Bobby Kennedy Jr. Like that mentality. For me, that's like one sentence explains 2025.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember they put up the Christmas tree and it actually fell down because it was dead?
Yes, I do remember that. I do remember
At
that.
the Biden White House.
Yeah.
So,
Very different situation now.
Yeah. I mean, the word grace, comes with the presentation of the new Christmas tree and Melania out there in her white kimono dress.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like we have moved into making America healthy again.
Absolutely.
And my YouTube feed, aside from all the news you guys that I love, is nonstop 10 foods that are toxic that, RFK just discovered. 10 things, in your laundry. It's like all these warnings. I've shifted to bamboo everything, toilet paper, toothbrush, paper towels, napkins. I don't know if you guys have, but again, it's about upgrading. And the reason I say it is because I've upgraded for the last 6 years to C60 Evo organic oil. And it's just upgraded my mind to be consistent. Like I don't get moody. I've never gotten migraines, but boy, are we getting stories about moody people or just people that have too much life, or who knows, they were born with the tendency. But Chris knows a lot more about migraines. We are starting a migraine study because we are getting ridiculously great testimonials immediately in my family and Chris's. It's impressive. And we're not making any medical claims. We're just saying, wow, what a coincidence that people with migraines are finding tremendous relief with Evo in a short period of time.
Well, Chris, for me personally, we've touched on this in the past because I am one of those people who coincidentally no longer have to deal with issues with migraines after I started taking C60. I used to have an emergency pill, I called it. It was something that I would only take in the most dire of circumstances because I generally don't try to take any pharmaceuticals. And there would be certain times where I would just get crippling migraines and I wouldn't be able to do anything. I'd have to go lay down. Sometimes I would end up puking. And I haven't had to worry about that in any respect. And so I'm extremely excited to hear what this migraine study is going to entail.
Yeah, well, you're just I think the story behind this, or the underlying theme, is Chris wishes he was smarter and had read the writing on the wall that, we should have started a migraine study a long time ago, like starting with my own testimonial. So, and by the way, we'll throw out the FDA disclaimer. The FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. You should not assume any of these testimonials will happen for you. In fact, always better to assume the opposite. We're sharing with you today why we're doing the migraine study. And when, I believe, and I think everybody on this video believes, when this study comes out positive, then we will be able to make those claims. Until then, we cannot. Why are we doing this migraine study? I am actually the geeky guy you see in front of me, in front of you, and in me, if I had a mirror. That's how that works. I have a spreadsheet back to 2014 where I was tracking my 4 to 5 migraines per year. And I was tracking them because, just like you described, they're horrendous. If you've never had a migraine, it's horrendous. And the stories of, needing to get under the covers in your cold bedroom where it's dark and there's no sound, that's where my migraines were. So I was trying to track them, figure out how they were happening and how to make sure they never happened again. And when I started taking this product in 2018, I didn't get a single migraine for 18 months, right? So I should have been 5, 6, 7 migraines in for that year and a half. And ironically, or not ironically, when I got my first migraine after that 18 months, it was because I joined our sleep study and went off the product. And that's when I got the first migraine. By the way, the sleep study, it's a small cohort of people, and 100% of them have reported improvements while in their sleep while taking the product. So that was the first, I don't know, we'll call it writing on the wall, dead fish hitting me in the face that I should start a migraine. Next is my wife. And I think we may even have shared this one. My wife used to get 9+ migraines per month. I remember the number 9 because she had a medication, Sumatran, something close to that. They would only give her 9. So actually she had more than 9. Everything after 9 she just had to suffer through. And debilitating migraines as well. It did take me a while. Your spouse, what do I know about supplements? Because I was kind of new in the industry, coming out of being the chief scientist of a carbon nanomaterial manufacturing business, and now I'm the chief scientist of a supplement company. I will not say that I actually shoved a spoon in her mouth while she wasn't looking. I'm not going to say that. But when I convinced her to take the product, her migraines went down from, the plus 9+ or 13 or so migraines per month to 1 or 2 a month or every other month. And that's like the smack. That should have been, hey, Chris, you should run a migraine study. And then Patty has one, and then I'll wrap it up because the final straw that broke the dead fish's back, I guess, is fairly recent. But Patty also had a powerful one that should have been enough.
Oh, wow.
I'm still cracking up thinking of you shoving a spoon in your wife's mouth.
Look the other way. Oops.
He is this Panamanian hot mama that could pack a punch, I'm guessing. I would not want to even go behind her and go, boo. So a spoon. I'm kidding. But that's adorable. A lot of our guys say, I wish my wife would. And it's hard to get anybody, to try something new because we've all tried so many things that cost money that are useless, such as most of the supplements in my kitchen that are from really good companies. A lot of them just don't do anything that I notice, but I take a spoonful of this and I do. So my mom is 96 and I send her, I put in an order today because her helper sent me a photo of her bottle of the facial serum and it was empty. And she said, your mother, she's out. Cute. So, of course, I put in an order. But her helper, my mom's 96, did I say? And all of her friends are bailing around her, but she's still reading thick novels, remembers everything from my childhood, like mind-boggling mind, because she's been taking C60 Evo. She's probably done at least a 32-ounce bottle by now. She's a heavy drinker of the Evo every morning, 1 spoonful. And so finally I said to her helpers in her 50s, I didn't know if she had any issues. I didn't ask, not my business. I said, why don't you try the Evo? When you give it to mom, do a spoonful. So she called me 4 days later and I said, give it a go. And she said, Patty, my migraines went away. And I thought, wow, I see a call from her. It scared me. My mom's 96. I'm like, oh God, she's calling. But she just wanted to compliment the product. And I said, I didn't know you had migraines. She said, so badly that I get a shot every 3 months.
Mm,
And they take me down, and I need dark and quiet and all the things that you guys talk
yep.
about. And I was like, how do you take care of my mom then? I mean, but if you had one of those, she goes, it's not easy when it comes on. But I haven't had one since I started your product. And I was like, "Psh, I will send you a bottle immediately, your own." So every time I send my mom one, I order one for her helper
That's awesome.
because okay, so now it's been a year, not one headache,
Very
not
cool.
one. So she canceled her quarterly shots. She doesn't do any of the remedies, the medications, the drugs with things you can't pronounce. She's beyond happy. And I think it's one more, she was loyal to the family not to leave my mom. But this is one more thing. She's like, now this is a real benefit to working with your family, is introducing me to something that actually took away the nightmare of my world, which was migraines. So I'm not making a claim. I'm repeating a constant testimonial from somebody I really care about. And I have one more story, which is so good. So
Well,
we were,
hold on, because that story kind of comes after. Um, we at this point, I have enough. Like the fish has slapped me in the face enough. We should have started a migraine. I think you may have even mentioned kind of your experience, and still we didn't. And then finally, I had a call with an influencer. On the second call that I had with her, it ended up being a really long call, like 2 hours. The first 30 minutes was her sharing how the product had just changed her life. I
Mm,
didn't realize when I first spoke with her, that her husband had debilitating migraines in a frequency and a severity that it ruled their life, right? It was like, is today going to be a good day, or
yep.
is it going to be a bad day? Am I going to the grocery store alone, or can you actually go to the grocery store? Just a horrific kind of life ruled by his migraines. She gets the product and she shares with me that the frequency is down, the intensity is down, and even if a migraine's coming on, and this is relevant to kind of what Patty's about to share, even if a migraine's coming on, I can take this product and feel some relief. Now, again, we're not making claims. We're sharing with you the reason we're doing a migraine study, so hopefully, eventually, we can make a claim about this product and as it relates to migraines.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a powerful tool for you guys to be able to use, obviously. But I mean, how freeing it will be for people to realize that this is something that they can try and see if it works. And if it doesn't, great. I mean, it's still going to help with a whole bunch of other things. But I mean, all I can tell you is from my own personal experience. I mean, what a nightmare it was previously, because it would be out of the blue, I mean, everything is totally fine. And then you kind of start to feel this like halo coming on, and that something isn't right. And then the next thing exactly as you described, Chris. I mean, like, nothing is worse than having to lock yourself in a cold, dark bedroom in the middle of the day when, you've got people around that depend on you, when the dogs are climbing all over you because they need to be taken care of too, and you just can't do it. I mean, everything that is a slog, and it's almost impossible. And I'm not a person to take naps, or I have never truly been a person that liked to take naps. But now, like, with my schedule that I have now, if I do take a nap, like, it's totally fine, because I know that it's just my body and it needs to recharge. But whereas before, if I was to fall asleep from a migraine, if I could fall asleep from a migraine, I was going to be out. Like, I know I wouldn't be waking up until the next day, because it was just like a glorious reprieve from the consciousness of being aware of what my body was going through. And now, if I fall asleep at 7 p.m., I wake up at 8 p.m., and I know I'm still going to be up until 2 or 3 because I'm just moving. I'm just constantly moving. And it doesn't matter because I'm still going to wake up rested and refreshed the next day, no matter what, because my body isn't dealing with a whole bunch of things that it's fighting off. It's just, it's liberating.
I bet. So how often were you getting migraines, and how many of you had since you've been taking C60 Evo?
I mean, I can't tell you the last time I had one. I mean, it's been a couple of years since I had one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it would generally be about 2 or 3 times a month. So, I mean, not like every week, but I mean, frequently. I mean, it would happen, and I would pray that it would happen early in the day so that like maybe I could get enough rest and just, let my body chill out because I mean, I'm sure it doesn't help staring at the computer all day and, actively contemplating all of the things happening in the world. And I mean, just like trying to put these shows together is a lot of work in and of itself before I even go on the air. And then to be able to compose my thoughts while I'm on the air, if I have a debilitating migraine at the time that that's trying to happen, there's just no way. It doesn't work right. And I don't feel like I'm operating at peak capacity. And I know I'm not operating at peak capacity, but I would still feel like, I need to be there because I've made a commitment. I mean, people know that I go on the air at a certain time every single day. And, I mean, and there's a certain amount of, I guess, payback for me as well. I mean, just like the action of doing these shows, it juices me. I love doing this stuff. And I love being able to talk about the things that we talk about. But to feel like I was taking time off of work to deal with something that was out of my control, that was probably the most frustrating thing. Like, even when I worked a 9 to 5, I didn't like calling in sick. I didn't like feeling like I had let other people down because I wasn't fulfilling my obligations. And I don't like putting everything off on Lisa either. I didn't. Now it's not a problem, but I didn't like it before.
You are the third person that we work with this week that has reminded me, oh, I had migraines like crazy until I started your product. So what we're saying is it's an amazing coincidence that a lot of people that take C60 Evo organic olive oil are no longer having these terrible headaches. It's just a coincidence, not making any medical claim, but what a nice coincidence. So here's another influencer. I didn't know he had migraines. We did a show the other day, dropped on Sunday morning with Gary Franchi from Next News Network.
Yep.
And he's got a big audience, and they care about him like your audience loves you from all over the world. And we're doing a show, we're rolling, and he's recording, and it's about what we're presenting this month, which is talking about helping your migraines lessen with this product, hopefully. So we're rolling through the show, we're talking about migraines, he and Chris, sharing data. I've never had one, thank God. And all of a sudden, half hour in, he stops us and he goes, I have to admit that I was starting to get the aurora, the kaleidoscope, oh my God. And Chris and I didn't even know because he's a good actor, apparently. And he said, I thought I might have to stop recording because I was coming onto a migraine and I ran out of your product a few days ago. So I'm like, well, we'll airdrop you some tonight, But anyway, he had 2 bottles and they were both empty. So I said, turn them upside down and lick the lid because it'll help.
Yep.
So we're sitting right there and he turned them upside down and Chris goes, don't spill when you, so he's like this. It was really kind of funny. He made the effort, but he's a Greek. So he absolutely loves olive oil and he licked out both lids and he said, I wasn't going to stop the show, but I have to say it was within minutes. Everything went away. I don't have any symptoms. And that's why I just had to tell you. And I'm not acting, I'm not fake promoting. And Chris and I are like, this is a good testimonial because it happened live.
Yeah.
And you can see it on his show. So yeah, he had an absolute miracle clearing of the pain. And he really
awesome.
thought he was about to go into it. So I don't know what you guys have gone through. It sounds terrible. Thank God my brain, thank you. I choose things like hip replacements, for my glory. So we get to pick our poison, right?
Yeah, I don't want a hip replacement.
Well, I had 2 when I flew, and I don't know how other than I kissed the bottle. I had a big bottle for that one, 2. But I have still to this day astounded the doctors. My stitches have healed like what? And I never had any pain like after either surgery. And I know they took things out and put things in. And I was one of the few patients that said, can I see the thing you're going to put in me? And my daughter was with me, and she goes, "No, you don't want to do that." And I said, "Really?"
I
"Yeah, I
mean, it's
do." And
basically like a big tungsten ball or something like that, or titanium, isn't it? Or is it
oh yeah,
steel?
but it also has a 5-inch rod that goes into your leg bone.
Yes, yes, yes. So they like chop the top off, replace that, goes
Let's
in,
not
screw it.
let's not make your audience queasy.
Hammer it in. Yeah, there's hammering. No.
Oh God.
I don't know how I got through two of them, and my doctor is adorable. And my healing was so good that when I went for my 6-month checkup afterward, there were two nurses walking behind me, and I heard them whispering. And I turned around and they said, "Did you have your hips replaced?" And I said, "Yeah, both." And they said, "You're Dr. Gold's client, aren't you?" And I was, he was your doctor, wasn't he? And I said, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And they said, "Flawless alignment." All of his patients have flawless alignment. And walking now is not only something I'm super grateful for because I was running bone on bone for quite a while,
Yeah.
but again, when I finally gave in and went for surgery, I auditioned doctors, and that when they looked at my X-rays, they would look at me like, "That's not possible.
Yeah.
You have not been well." I didn't even notice because I was taking this luscious, thick oil that was lubricating my joints. And I don't know, I brag about hip replacements. Life is so much better, but the fact that I never feel them, like I didn't even after the surgery, I didn't need pain medication. I did it for 48 hours because they said to.
Sure.
Um, yeah, C60 Evo, they called it a miracle molecule when it won the Nobel Prize in 1996. And my teenage looking partner here was making it in 1991. He and his partner, he's 93 years old. I mean, talk about anti-aging. The guy looks good for his age.
And no filters, right, Chris? This is all
Zero
you.
filtered. Yeah.
Let me
You
ask
know,
you that. Oh, go ahead, Patty.
I just look at our influencers, and, I got to admit, I'm 72. We have good skin, we have strong minds, and it's something about the Evo that keeps us a little happier than the average bear.
Yeah.
It really does make a difference in your system.
I would agree. I would agree. So, Chris, I wanted to ask you. So, we've talked about the ineffective nature of a lot of over-the-counter supplements that people will take, and oftentimes it's because what is advertised on the bottle is not necessarily going to be absorbed by your body. A lot of it just gets destroyed when it goes into the acid of your stomach. What is it about C60 Evo that allows for this to be absorbed in a greater capacity or more completely than what you would find in just some over-the-counter pill?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I mean, one of them is the size of the molecule, right? So I know Patty touched on it. I just want to make sure that I'm holding up a model of the molecule. It's ESS60. If you're listening, imagine a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. Discovered in 85, the guys who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in 96. They thought it would be toxic for kind of various reasons. They put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group, right? So the single longest longevity experimental result on mammals in history, peer-reviewed published research. Very proud to share. Our lab provided the material, and our lab is mentioned in that original study. So the molecule is actually really small, right? Although it's 60 carbon atoms in the shape of a soccer ball, it's quite small. In fact, one drop, so we took a shot earlier, one drop of that product, the olive oil product, has more than 400 times as many of these ESS60 molecules in that drop as you have cells in your body. So one drop has 400 times more of these molecules than you have cells in your body. That's how small it is. And that's why we think that it, one, gets into your blood system and gets into your overall system better, gets into your cells, also because it's dissolved in a lipid. And so the cell wall is lipid, the mitochondrial wall is lipid. That means oil, basically. And so you're bringing this molecule into the cell, not only into the cell, but also into the mitochondria. A lot of supplements will brag about, hey, we operate at the cellular level, and they should, because there are supplements out there that don't even operate at the cellular level. We believe that through the BOSS theory, buffering oxidative stress system, but the BOSS theory suggests that this is operating at the level of the mitochondria. That's the powerhouse of every cell. And so, one, that's small, and two, it's the fact that it's kind of encased in this lipid as it's going into your system.
Okay, excellent. That makes a lot of sense. It's interesting that there was a lot of talk previously about the lipid nanoparticles. They were trying to find an unnatural way for things to enter into your body, and obviously they're trying to make a facsimile of something that's happening naturally in in a system. And you can't get much more natural than olive oil and there is years and years, generations worth of anecdotal evidence to show just how good olive oil and these other various oils are for your body and how easily they absorb.
The nice thing about our olive oil is that it comes from a farm in Tunisia rather than a case platter from Costco.
Mm-hmm.
It's extra virgin cold pressed organic olive oil. I was teasing, do they do it with their own toes? But that was wine.
They don't squish them with their feet?
I hope not. But it is from a farm, so it's very clean. And that's what's important. And the nice thing is, even though C60, carbon 60, is found in nature, we manufacture it in our labs so that we can get it out to people for their pets and their bodies, because there's not enough in nature that we can gather to bring it. So our lab is in Houston, Texas. We are the only lab in the world making what we call the good stuff, ESS60, elemental safe spheres for 60 carbon atoms. And what that is the Chris and Robert have been at it 34 years. So they used to make, and still do, industrial grade C60. It's not as extensive of a process as the ESS60, but they've been making it for tires, batteries, ink, photocells, and selling to research institutions around the world until they met the girl with the big mouth that doesn't get migraines because I say everything, I think. And we became partners. And all of a sudden, that industrial focus went to the fact that they were the ones that delivered the product, the formula that received the 90% life extension of rats. Not only that, but more important to me, they died without tumors.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making the big C claim. We're just saying as a coincidence, as long as they're not metastasized, we have seen some very nice testimonials of thank God. So it's a gift from head to toe, the benefits of this molecule. And for me, when I met Chris, I was dealing with a lot of toxicity, and it's the only thing that I know worked. I was doing ESS60 in olive oil and those natural oils on the bottom of my feet, compresses to pull out. I was poisoned by uranium in 2019 intentionally, so it was bad.
Yeah.
And I was 25 pounds thin. I was starting to faint. Luckily, I just moved out of the house. And the detox was intense, but thank God I had this product. Because here I am 6 years later, like totally back. 2 hip replacements. 5 days later, I was on the air doing a show. I called Chris. I'm like, I'm good for today. He's like, yeah, funny.
I was like, no way. Like, you just had hip replacement surgery. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he and the team sent me a box of all these things to stay home, get well for weeks. It was so sweet. And I was like, yeah, I'm back, over. So, and it was because from chest up, I'm on fire immediately. Like, that's why we do a shot before we hit a show, and get rolling with it, because why not maximize our mental focus and memory?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Evo does. So Chris was talking about the mitochondria as the powerhouse of every cell. And this is how we explain why it works, and why it works, shall we say, quickly for some people who notice. The brain has 2 million mitochondria per cell, whereas the rest of the body, blood has none, has 50 to 5,000 mitochondria per cell throughout the rest of your systems. So the mind is going to be the first to feel. Chris has big words that are scientific. I call it detox. The mind is going to be the first to detox when you start taking this product. You're going to go, oh, wow, I remember that, or don't need an alarm clock anymore, or so many things. But a lot of people that are so busy in life, they don't realize, oh, my fingers don't hurt anymore. Like when something quits hurting, or your skin quits splitting open, or your hair stops breaking off, you don't notice maybe that it's stopped till you sit back and go. Chris has great testimonials. Yeah, I didn't notice anything, but it is a coincidence that and then they go down the list
Yep.
of things that are better. So it's about being conscious of really wanting to take your control of your overall well-being. And this is head to toe benefits. And we have had testimonials, including toes. I'm not giving it up, I don't think, anytime soon, because it works. And I give it as gifts for all my friends and family. And, I just wait and watch, and everybody calls me back and says, dang, thanks, because it does help you feel and look better.
Yeah, ideally, you just go through your day and everything works, right? It's like when you get into your car and your brand new oil, your tank full of gas, and there's nothing blocking the windshield. You can drive from point A to point B, and the only thing you know is that you turned the car on and you got in and you got out. Same thing when you wake up in the morning. You should wake up. You should be rested. You should be alert. You should be able to complete all of your daily tasks and not have to think about a whole bunch of steps in between of what it is that's stopping you, or why you feel bad if you do this or you do that. It in a perfect harmonious system, things just operate correctly.
Yeah,
Indeed.
100%. Yeah. And
Well,
then Patty was kind of talking about mitochondria. She mentioned the 2 million in every neuron in your brain, right? So this is where we do see the initial response. People often ask, like, how quickly am I going to see a response? And I like to think of it in terms of like, what does it look like over the first 3 months, right? Remember, most consistent testimonial, people take it in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. By the way, two things amazing about this. One, to take something in the morning and have a positive impact on your sleep that night, I'm not aware of anything that you can do to do that. You could certainly get some exercise, right? And that'll help you sleep that night. Get some exposure to the sun and get your circadian rhythm in line with the rising and falling of the sun. That'll help you get sleep. But to take something in the morning, get sleep. The other thing that's pretty amazing about that is if all we did was improve sleep, we all know that sleep is good for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And so that could be all that's going on. So when we think about the first 3 months, we think month one, focus and energy. And we kind of land here because we have a testimonial. A lady took some product in the morning, recorded a video that night. And in the video, she pointed out that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, like just to notice that you didn't finish your cup of coffee and that you only got through like half of it, that's a big deal. And I'll share, I used to be a 2 to 3 cup of coffee per day person before taking this product on a regular basis. Now I'm down to like a half or a full cup. And a lot of it is just kind of the experience of coming into the office, making the cup of coffee and smelling it and drinking it. I will also add, there's a lot of research that shows if you replace high saturated fats with this high quality olive oil fats, you will actually experience some weight loss benefits. So that is absolutely on the table for kind of experiencing in month one. Month two, we really think about sleep. And I think it's month two because everyone gets a little bit more or less sleep each day. And to actually equate better sleep and more consistent quality of sleep on the day you started the product, some people just don't kind of equate that. It really lands around month two. I'll share my business coach says the way he says it is, for 50 years, I needed an alarm clock to wake up. Since I started taking the product, I wake up before the alarm clock. And, he's a business coach, right? So he's out at late night mixers, late night dinners, none of that matters. The thing that does matter is if he doesn't have access to the product for about 10 days, so he's not taking it, he starts to need the alarm clock again. And then finally, on month 3, we think, we're reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria. We're working at the mitochondrial level, and we start to see these kinds of benefits roll out in month 3. We have to be really careful with how we suggest these things with the FDA. I'll just share my father-in-law. He was walking with a cane right around month 3, stopped using the cane, started walking more, and not because of our product, but ended up losing weight because he was exercising more.
Sure.
And that's where we start seeing like the full systemic kind of benefits at that month 3 point.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Now, obviously, we were mentioning at the beginning of the show that it's Thanksgiving this week. I think that this will be coming out right around Thanksgiving due to the miracle of editing. But you guys have a special sale that you're offering for viewers of the program. Patty, would you mind telling everybody what that's about?
I would love to. 24/7, we encourage people to sign up for a monthly subscription. This is different than our holiday sale. But if you sign up for a monthly, you get 20% off every month, and we ship it to you. You don't have to think about it. And if you don't love it, you can cancel at any time. Last year, 53% of our sales were resubscribes. We're up to 70%. And that to me is a testimonial when people don't quit. And so there you go with that one. But for the holiday, Chris off the wall gave me this great idea to do packets of 6 products and give people a completely wholesale price, which is the highest discount we do, 40%. But typically you have to buy 5 cases of 12 each to get 40% off. We're doing it for the holidays because, needless to say, it's been a rough financial year for people around the world. And we are about to come back like no tomorrow, I totally believe.
Yes.
In the meantime, we are offering 40% off of our top 2 items, not like stuff that doesn't sell. We don't have anything that doesn't sell. But our top 2 items are, of course, the C60 Evo Organic Olive Oil. If you buy 6 of these, you're going to get 40% off. Doesn't include any other discounts. 40% is like major.
Yeah.
And the other top seller is our C60 Evo starter set. When people say, what's your suggestion of the products I'm going to want to try? And to begin, obviously, the olive oil, but also the advanced facial serum. Now, if you get 6 of these sets, you get 40% off. The nice thing about this is, talk about a beautiful gift. Look at this that the men at the lab designed, or I gave them the words, but when I saw this packaging, it was like, oh, this is amazing. So revive, replenish, rejuvenate. It's a beautiful facial serum that comes in this lovely little bottle. Smells like rosemary. It's absolutely delightful. But what's different about it is it's got a base of chia seed oil, so it actually works wonders. I don't know any other product, and I'll say this every time, so there's probably going to be other companies copying us or trying. But we have 21 natural, organic, and vegan ingredients in this incredible facial serum. And so it's 40% off if you get these 2 items together. If you get 6 of them, you can keep 3 for yourself. Good idea, because 3 months you're going to feel all those benefits Chris mentioned, and give 3 to your favorite people, or maybe just stash all 6 for yourself. Put them in a cabinet. The only reason they ever go bad, which ours don't, is if you put it direct in a window with sunlight. Not a good idea. Or next to an oven or stove that's always hot. You just want to keep heat, sunlight away from the products. We do put them in these beautiful colored bottles, which, deletes most sunlight, but you want to just maximize the extension of time they're going to be potent. You're going to get your money's worth if you just take care. But 40% off is a wonderful discount. We also, on your landing page, C60EVO, like evolution.com/redpill78, you're going to find this great offer. And it's only available, like we said, on your landing page. It's not on our website, not on social media. So we love you. We love your audience and the loyalty that they've shown us and you. We really want to keep everybody healthy. So happy holidays, you guys. And take good care of yourselves and your family and your friends. And keep in mind, we also have products for pets.
Yes.
Because pet vet bills have been what I keep hearing from my family, but they've put their pets on the C60 Evo, so my daughter's cats are 18 and 20. I'll be telling you next, in 10 years, they're 28 and 30.
Yes,
Yeah.
and don't forget, if you don't want to get 40% off, you can still use the code RedPill78 on the smaller bundles and on individual items, and you'll get 10% off that way. But in order to get that 40% off for this holiday sale, you've got to go to my landing page, c60evo.com/RedPill78. All right. Well, listen, both of you, Chris and Patty, it's always a pleasure to have you here. I really do appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts before we close out for the day?
No, I think you covered it. Patty was talking about the 6. She's super excited about that.
Yeah.
It may be a mistake I regret later, but she's holding me to it. So it's gonna hold. You still can get on that on your landing page. You've got an offer for 2 bottles and 3 bottles. That's also a substantial discount. So we're not telling you, hey, commit to 6. I would, but that's available on that landing page as well. And then I'll just share, happy Thanksgiving to you. Love to connect with you. It's always great to connect with you and your audience. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. It is. I like to share. Actually, I'm going to steal this from Patty. Go and be well.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. All right, and Patty, how about you?
I think I'm going to go and be brave. I live in Colorado, where, of course, I could get shot wearing this favorite hat,
God forbid.
or lit on fire. But I'm going to wear it anyway because I want to make America healthy again. And I feel like even though I've been through some pretty risky stuff in the UFO field, God's paid me back. I'm partners with the only lab in the world making the good stuff, ESS60, for people and pets. Plus, I got my own big bottle that matches my hat.
I love it. All right. Once again, happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody at home. Check out the link in the description below. You've also seen it flashing on screen, c60evo.com/RedPill78. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month, and hope you have a great turkey day.
You too.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.